What if I told you the greatest dynasty in modern football wasn't built on clean victories, but on loopholes, scandal, and suspicion? What if every Lombardi trophy they raised came with a question mark attached? And what if, after 2 decades of dominance, it all collapsed the moment the league stopped looking the other way? This is the story of a team that went from forgotten franchise to the evil empire. From 199th pick nobody wanted to the man who redefined greatness. From genius coaching to rule bending so bold it forced the NFL to rewrite its own laws. The Patriots rose higher, lasted longer, and won bigger than any team of their era. But at every peak, there was a shadow. And when the smoke cleared in 2025, the dynasty that rewrote football history was over. So buckle in, because this is not just the story of rings and records. It's the story of how far one team could bend the rules of football before breaking its own dynasty. This is the rise and fall of the New England Patriots.
At the turn of the millennium, the New England Patriots were nobodies, a franchise better known for blown leads and empty seats than Super Bowl banners. And then, with one brutal hit, their destiny changed forever. Enter Tom Brady, drafted 199th overall, a string bean quarterback with a dad bod who couldn't outrun a lineman if his life depended on it. But he had something else, a fire no scout could measure. By 2001, Brady wasn't just filling in, he was winning. The Patriots surged to the Super Bowl against the St. Louis Rams, the greatest show on turf. Nobody gave New England a chance. And then, in the closing seconds, nailed it. The Patriots shocked the world. Their first ever Super Bowl. And the birth of a dynasty. But here's the thing. Dynasties don't just happen. They're engineered. And the Patriots weren't just building a team. They were building a system the NFL had never seen before. And that system, it would carry them to glory, but it would also make them the most hated team in football. The cameras were already rolling, and soon, the world would find out.
September 2007, the Patriots were fresh off 3 Super Bowls in 4 years. But behind the curtain, there was a secret, a system designed not just to win games, but to decode them. The New England Patriots were caught filming. Not highlight reels, not training tapes, but the New York Jets' defensive signals, a scheme that shook the NFL to its core. The punishment came fast. $500,000 fine for Bill Belichick, the largest ever for a coach. $250,000 for the team, and the loss of a first-round draft pick. But here's the twist. The tapes, destroyed by the league. The evidence, vanished. The full scope, still unknown. So what exactly did the Patriots learn from those signals? Did Spygate fuel their dynasty? Or was it just the tip of the iceberg? Because here's the kicker. While the NFL was slapping fines and shredding tapes, the Patriots were still winning. In fact, right after Spygate, they didn't crumble, they went perfect. Spygate should have been the end. Instead, it was gasoline on the fire. The Patriots became not just a dynasty, but the most hated dynasty in NFL history. Spygate should have killed the Patriots' credibility, but instead, it lit a fire. Because right after being branded cheaters, the Patriots delivered one of the most terrifying seasons in NFL history. The so-called Cheatriots weren't just good, they were historic. Brady threw 50 touchdowns. Moss caught 23 of them. Every week felt like a video game on rookie mode. But perfection comes at a price, because in Super Bowl 42, the unthinkable happened. David Tyree, the helmet catch. The Giants shattered perfection. The dynasty wasn't dead, not yet, but the cracks were showing. And the world wondered, could New England dominate without controversy? The answer? A decade of dominance. From 2011 to 2014, the Patriots reached 5 straight AFC Championship games. They rebuilt weapons, adapted to rule changes, and still came out on top. Super Bowl 49, Seahawks versus Patriots, the moment that defined their second act. But instead of handing it off, Seattle threw it, and Malcolm Butler caught it. It was the perfect redemption story, the dynasty reborn. But just as the Patriots had silenced critics, another storm was already brewing. A storm that would put Brady's legacy on trial. January 18th, 2015. AFC Championship game. The Patriots annihilated the Indianapolis Colts, 45-7. But by the next morning, nobody cared about the score because whispers started spreading about something strange, something lighter. The Patriots were accused of deflating footballs, not by accident, by design. And at the center of it all, Tom Brady. The NFL launched an investigation. The Wells Report accused Brady of being generally aware of tampering. The penalty? A 4-game suspension, a $1 million fine, and draft picks stripped. But here's where it gets murky. Experts argued that cold weather alone could deflate footballs. Physics, not foul play. So was this really cheating or just science weaponized against the league's most hated team? Brady refused to hand over his phone. The NFL called it destruction of evidence. The media turned it into the biggest circus the NFL had ever seen. But here's the kicker. While Brady served his suspension, the Patriots still won. And when he came back furious. The Patriots steamrolled through the playoffs. Super Bowl 51. Falcons up 28-3. Game over, right? Wrong. Brady led the greatest comeback in Super Bowl history. 5 drives, overtime victory. The Patriots proved they didn't just win because of PSI levels. They won because they refused to die. Deflategate was supposed to destroy Tom Brady. Instead, it made him a legend. But legends don't last forever, and the cracks inside the empire were about to split wide open. Dynasties rarely collapse from the outside. Most of the time, they implode from within. And for the New England Patriots, the warning signs were everywhere. First came the power struggle. Reports swirled that Tom Brady's personal trainer, Alex Guerrero, had too much influence in the locker room. Belichick banned him from team flights. Lines were drawn. Then came the coaching chess match. Belichick wanted Jimmy Garoppolo as the heir. Brady wanted to finish his career on his own terms. Robert Kraft sided with the quarterback. Garoppolo traded to San Francisco. And while the empire fought itself, the league caught up. Nick Foles, Super Bowl 52. The underdog Eagles beat the Dynasty with a play so bold it's still replayed today. But the Patriots answered back. In 2019, they beat the Rams in the lowest scoring Super Bowl in history. 6 championships, dynasty complete. And then it ended. Rob Gronkowski retired. Brady, frustrated and aging, left for Tampa Bay in 2020. For the first time in 20 years, the Patriots were without their king. The empire was fractured. The system split apart. And what came next was not dominance, it was freefall. When Tom Brady left New England in 2020, many thought the dynasty might wobble but survive. Instead, it collapsed like a house of cards. Meanwhile, in New England, the empire crumbled. Cam Newton couldn't fill Brady's shoes. Mac Jones showed flashes, but inconsistency. The Patriots missed the playoffs again and again. The unthinkable happened. Brady, without Belichick, won a Super Bowl in his very first season with the Buccaneers. The narrative shifted overnight. Was Brady the system, or was Belichick just riding shotgun? The aura of invincibility was gone. No more fear in Foxborough, no more inevitability in January. The empire that once bent rules, broke rivals, and owned Sundays looked ordinary. By 2025, the inevitable came. Bill Belichick, after 24 seasons, 6 Super Bowls, and countless controversies, stepped down. The hoodie was gone. The dynasty was finished. And just like that, the rise was over. The fall was complete. The New England Patriots were no longer a dynasty. They were just another team trying to find their way back. But the question remains, what will history remember? The rings, the records, or the scandals that shadowed them all? So, what was it all for? 20 years, 6 championships, countless records. The New England Patriots didn't just dominate football, they changed it. But ask around and you'll hear 2 stories.
One says, this was the greatest dynasty football has ever seen. The other, it was built on deception, loopholes, and scandal. Were the Patriots proof that obsession and preparation can outsmart talent? Or were they just the boldest at pushing the rule book until it snapped? For fans in New England, it was 2 decades of magic. For everyone else, 2 decades of frustration, suspicion, and envy. But maybe that's the point. Maybe true greatness doesn't unite us, it divides us. The Patriots rose higher than anyone. They fell harder than anyone. And through it all, they forced us to ask the question, what matters more, winning or how you win? You decide.